The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon and welcome. Before we get started, we would like to do a sound check. So if you can hear me talking, please raise your hand and that lets me know that the audio is working. Great, thank you. For those of you that raised hands, go ahead and lower them as we will use that function when we ask for stakeholder comments. Okay. Welcome and thank you for attending the Office of Funeral Home and Crematory Registration stakeholder meeting via webinar today. The date is May 9th, 2022, and the time is 2:01 p.m. Before we get started, we would like to introduce the members of the Division of Professions and Occupations that are present today. My name is Darcy Magnuson, and I'm a regulatory analyst with the division. Also attending is Karen McGovern, Deputy Division Director of Legal Affairs, Kevin Huff, Director of the Office of Inspections, Investigations, and Expedited Settlement. Zen Mayhew should be hopping on shortly. He's the Program Director, and Elena Kemp, Regulatory Coordinator. Due to concerns regarding COVID-19, the division has transitioned to a platform that is 100% virtual, and we appreciate your flexibility. As many of you have been to DORA stakeholder meetings before, we would like to reiterate the importance of your comments today. DORA makes decisions every day that may affect your life and your business, so your input is vital in the rulemaking process. Throughout this process, our goal is to create regulations that clarify and explain legislation, ensure minimum competency to enter and continue to practice, and provide only what is absolutely necessary for consumer protection without creating unnecessary barriers to the marketplace. Your input will be part of the information that goes to the director as the director considers adopting revisions to the rule. More specifically, today we will be discussing the proposed revisions to Rule 1.7 to implement Colorado House Bill 22-1073 concerning authorization to enter the premises of an establishment that provides services related to dead human bodies in order to perform an inspection. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the program's webpage by the close of business tomorrow. As this stakeholder meeting is held solely by webinar, please raise your hand by using the hand icon if you would like to speak, and we will unmute your lines. You'll be heard by everyone. Or you can type your comment in the question section and we will read it aloud. Before we start taking comments, we ask that anyone providing comments please state your name and who you represent. If anyone, feel free to provide either general comments on the rule changes or specific comments on the proposed language. Please limit your comments to no more than 3 to 5 minutes and try not to repeat something that was already said. Stating you're in full agreement with someone else works just fine and will be noted. If you are using audio through your computer, please remember to put any phones on vibrate or turn them off. And whether you are using computer or phone audio, try to keep background noises to a minimum when speaking. And just so that everyone who is participating is aware of the next steps. So after the stakeholder feedback that we received today, we will proceed to a permanent rulemaking hearing, which is tentatively scheduled for June 14th, 2022. And at that permanent rulemaking hearing, stakeholders are afforded a final opportunity to testify before the director begins deliberation on the proposed changes. All information regarding this particular rulemaking and legislative implementation can be found on the program's website under the Public Notices tab. That's where the hearing recording will be posted as well after the hearing. So with that, we will go ahead and take stakeholder comments. What you're seeing on the screen right now are the proposed changes. They're the same proposed changes that were circulated via blast email and also posted on the program's website. So if anyone participating today would like to provide comments, please raise your hand and we will unmute your line, or you can use the question function and we can read your questions out loud. Javon Jones, we should be able to hear you.
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Javon Jones. I'm president of the Colorado Freedom Directors Association. Everything you guys did looks good to me. I think you guys should go ahead and go forward with what we have in this section. So.
Thank you for your comments. My apologies for mispronouncing your name, and I appreciate you being here today. You're hearing silence as we're continuing to monitor our list of attendees to see if anyone else would like to provide feedback regarding the proposed changes. So we will go ahead and pause here and wait a few more minutes. Right now the time is showing 2:07, so we'll wait until 2:10 and see if anyone else wants to provide any comments. As a reminder, you can always provide written comments, and please, if you want to do that, please send those to the email address that was posted on the notice for today's meeting. I'll say it out loud and I'll also send it in the chat in case people are participating via a phone or something. It's Dora_DPO_rulemaking@state.co.us. And those comments will be provided to the director for the director's consideration and also provided on the website for other stakeholders to view as well. Okay, I show the time is 2:10 and I don't see that we have any raised hands, and we haven't received any questions through the question function. So we will continue to monitor just in case anyone decides last minute to offer any comments. And while we do that, I will go ahead and wrap up. I already mentioned next steps, but I'll reiterate those. Thank you again for participating in today's meeting. All comments and program recommendations will be provided to the director for review and consideration before the director deliberates on the final version of the rule after the permanent rulemaking hearing, which is tentatively scheduled for June 14th, 2022. And that concludes our stakeholder meeting. Thank you again for your participation today. We are going to end the webinar now.